We're supposed to find the requested function value, meaning all that's just a fancy way of saying find the solution for theta. Okay, they tell us sine theta is square root of 3 over 2. So we can draw, let's see, sine theta. So sine theta is positive, right? It's a positive square root of 3 over 2. And so sine can only be drawn in two places in the x and y grid where it's positive. Okay, a quick mnemonic device is all students take calculus. And the rationale for that is that sine is the opposite of your reference angle. So you look, when you draw these triangles, you always make a right angle with the x-axis. Okay, so you can draw a triangle there, you can draw a triangle here. You know, if your angle rotates all the way around here, if you need to make a triangle for that angle, you make it with the x-axis like this. Okay, so we're trying to find places to draw triangles, and I've said that we have to draw either here or here because sine is positive, and the reason for that is because sine is the opposite divided by the hypotenuse. The opposite of this angle, which we call the reference angle, the opposite is a positive number. The opposite's a positive number. If you were to draw these triangles down here, the opposite's a negative number, right? Because you've gone down on the y-axis. Down is bad. Down is negative. So we're supposed to graph sine square root of 3 over 2. That's why I said we have to draw it either here or here so that sine is positive. That's all we've done so far. And then they tell us that tangent's also positive. And our mnemonic device helps us bypass all that rationale, thinking like opposite, adjacent, which one's negative. It says that tangent's only positive down here or here. So there's only one place where both those criteria meet. Where sine is positive, where tangent's positive. That's in this area, where all are positive. Okay, and then it says find cosine. So sine is the opposite divided by the hypotenuse. So the opposite you could say is square root of 3, and the hypotenuse is 2 of this triangle. Now, if you're thinking like, wait, don't we always put 1 up here? You could do it that way. Okay, you could make that your opposite and make this your hypotenuse. You're going to get the same answer. That would be a unit circle triangle. But you don't have to because the sine ratio is the same regardless of whether the radius is 1 or 100, right? Because it stretches out both sides proportionally. So the opposite is square root of 3. That's what sine says. It's the opposite divided by hypotenuse. So the opposite is square root of 3 and the hypotenuse is 2. And then we could use the Pythagorean theorem to find out this missing side. Right? Remember the hypotenuse is always your c squared, so we'll call this x. X squared plus the square root of 3 squared equals 2 squared. And to solve that equation, you've got 3 equals 2 squared is 4. Subtract 3 from both sides, so you get x squared equals 1, or in other words, x equals 1. So we just found out that this side is 1. And with all that said and done, now we're finally ready to answer the question. I guess it's not looking for theta, it's looking for cosine of theta. They want us to find cosine of theta. So we've already drawn our triangle. Cosine is the adjacent divided by hypotenuse. So it's 1 over 2.